High-level talks continue today between the government and the opposition, and Minister Ramjatan underscores that cabinet continues to function. It's Friday, August 9. We have lots to tell you today. The high-level talks between the coalition government and the opposition continued today. His Excellency President David Granger and the opposition leader Bar Jagdeo met to continue dialogue. Elections could not be credible without a credible list, so said President David Granger following a meeting with the opposition leader Bar Jagdeo. The president said he indicated that reference was made to his meeting with the GCOM chair, Justice Slaughter Singh retired, and her commissioners, where she stated that she was awaiting the Chief Justice's judgment of the legality of the house-to-house registration process and a subsequent meeting with her commissioners. He stated that while the government and opposition are working towards a consensual outcome, quote, they have not altered positions.
Government position has not changed. That we are pursuing a course that can guarantee a credible list and will be the basis of credible elections, and the opposition position has not changed. But we are working towards seeking a common ground so that the Guyanese people can be assured that we will have credible elections in the shortest possible time.
Winging Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, Joseph Harmon, said there was no agreement on any possible elections date. He added that the President will not be naming a date that would be impractical for GCOM to accomplish.
So all that can be done is for us to help the Commission to arriving at a position which, given the resources at their availability and given their own institutional arrangements within the Commission, will determine how best and at how early they can provide the information with respect to a date for elections. The President made it clear that he would like to see early elections and that he has provided all of the resources that the Elections Commission require.
The head of state reiterated the accepted position that GCOM is central to this process, which is entirely in its hands.
I will continue to abide by the Constitution and pay attention to what the chairman of the Election Commission will advise me to do. So we are aware of the dates, we are aware of the deadlines that have been mentioned in the media, but what we are not aware of is the decision of the Commission. And everything hangs on what we are told by the chairman speaking on behalf of the Commission.
Another meeting is scheduled where the issues raised between the two sides will be examined in greater detail after the expected August 14 High Court ruling. Paul McAdam for InfoHub. Minister of Public Security, the Honorable Kemrat Ramjatan, has condemned the opposition for attempting to create confusion by continuously spreading misleading information to the public. The minister has assured that the cabinet will continue to function in the interest of the country.
Minister Ramjatan, who was at the time being interviewed on the Voice of Guyana's radio program Insight, said cabinet will continue until the next election occurs. The Caribbean Court of Justice, he said, made it crystal clear in its consequential order that the government remains.
We still have to run the country. It is not Bar Jagdeo and Irfan Ali will run the country. Who then runs the country if they're saying that we have to resign? And if Ramjatan is to resign, well, I could formally tender my resignation to the President. Who does President Granger tender his resignation to?
The minister highlighted that the rulings of the CCJ gave the government an interim status as he described the confusion that the opposition is trying to spread as senseless.
You do not have to formally resign. It simply means that, as Article 106.7 says, you shall resign upon the new swearing in of that new president. And that is when you shall. So the president is intact, cabinet is intact, and the CCJ made it quite clear. Government must never be in a vacuum. You cannot have a void in governance. And what it means then is that the president and the executive branch, which is the cabinet, must be in existence.
President Granger, in response to a letter requesting the government resign from office, has advised the leader of the opposition that neither he nor his cabinet will resign. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
The National Mining Syndicate launched its constitution today. 1 year after being elected, its first female president, Cheryl Williams, has expressed her satisfaction with the latest development.
This ensures that we are effectively and meaningfully represented in all mining districts, working towards a safer and more efficient and sustainable industry, focusing on sound environmental practices that will assist in preserving Guyana's rich biodiversity and ecological corridors. That includes wildlife, waterways, and forestry.
The legal document will ensure proper conduct in the sector, and according to Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman, today's launch marks the culmination of many months of hard work.
So I encourage you always, members of the syndicates, to focus on the original intent of those who brought it into being. Why did they want, or do you want today a constitution? And what do you today, and what will you intend to achieve from it in the future?
Minister Trotman says the launch is also in keeping with the government's commitment to the National Mining Syndicate umbrella body and its constituent members, and a salute to miners everywhere.
Mining, I should say, is a part of our socio-economic fabric of Guyana and of its tapestry. Miners, mining, and the resources extracted are, in our view, the cradle of this economy.
Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
As we go to the break, here's a reminder that Sunday, August 11, is the observance of Eid al-Adha. As a result, Monday, August 12, is a public holiday. Still to come, Indigenous peoples encouraged to carve out their niche and Berbice teens complete coding camp. Details of these after the break.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
Welcome back. Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, the Honorable Sidney Allicock, has sounded a clarion call for Indigenous peoples to create their identity as they work towards the development of Guyana.
The message was delivered this morning at the media launch of the 2019 Indigenous Heritage Month of activities. Minister Allicock said Indigenous Guyanese must maintain their purpose while building Guyana.
We need to be able to carve or to create our own identity, which is blended in the Guyanese society. Something that is special. We should be we. We should be able to understand the value of what we have and not to give it up for anything else.
Under the theme, maintaining our traditional practices while promoting a green economy, this year's celebration seeks to support the preservation and the safeguarding of Indigenous cultures and practices. Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Valerie Garrido-Lowe, stressed the need for the preservation of Indigenous languages. This is something that has been recognized by the United Nations, which has also designated 2019 as the International Year of Indigenous Languages.
The majority of the languages being threatened of extinction are spoken by indigenous peoples. According to the United Nations estimate, every 2 weeks an indigenous language disappears. This worrying trend puts the respective indigenous cultures and knowledge systems at great risks.
The Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs has been conducting a range of activities to ensure the languages are preserved. The official Long Month celebration commences on August 31st with a religious service at the Umanayana. The ceremonial launch of Heritage Month will take place on September 1 at the Heritage Village. Other activities include a cultural extravaganza, art exhibition, heritage sport and pageant. The indigenous community will also remember the first indigenous parliamentarian, the late Stephen Campbell. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Several teens residing in the East Berbice quarantine region can now boast of the new skills acquired after participating in the Information and Communications Technology Code 2019 program.
The program, which was facilitated by the Ministry of Telecommunications, ran for 6 months and was taught at 2 locations. Commencing on February 9, 48 students from the Quarantine Coast took advantage of the course, while a total of 21 participated from the town of New Amsterdam. Keishnarain C. Prasad, one of the top students from the Quarantine Coast, was not hesitant to speak about his newfound knowledge.
We did HTML and Python. Well, this year I enjoy Python more because I started to understand about Python more and more. Every day, every week that I came, and it helped me to improve more and more in school.
Over at New Amsterdam, Antonio Ramcharan, who aspires to be an information technology teacher, said the ICT coding camp will definitely assist him in his future endeavors.
Throughout this course, we had learned many stuff. For me, I had learned to create websites, to develop websites. We learned coding. We learned many stuff that could help young people as individuals in society and also in school, because for our SBAs, some of this stuff that we had did, it was beneficial because it will help us to accomplish our SBAs and with our CSEC.
Minister of Telecommunications Catherine Hughes said the Coding Camp initiative allows youths to be exposed to technology at an early age. She highlighted the government's commitment towards investing into the information technology sector.
Many of you know that the whole world is now moving in all kinds of technological directions, and technology really has an opportunity to transform. So for us, we felt that, look, there's so many things that Guyana is going to be able to do in a more efficient manner if we start to embrace technology.
Meanwhile, digital tablets were presented as awards to the high flyers, most improved students, and the teen who attained the most points for attendance, while all participants received a certificate for their participation. For InfoHub, I am Kellon Rover.
Your GCOM tip for the day. The Ghana Elections Commission is currently conducting house-to-house registration. Teams of enumerators will be visiting houses and places of residence to register eligible persons. Registration will not be conducted at offices. For more information, call 225-0277-9 or 223-9653 or email pro@gcom.org.gy. Make it your responsibility to get registered. That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy, and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye for now.